Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So we have, in line with my view from the last video, we've actually made one more lower low. Yeah, I talked about that in the previous video, that we were here in some kind of a, you could call it a bear flag, but basically a three-wave move to the upside indicated this was just a corrective wave up and not yet the breakout. Yeah, yesterday I had here the low of a wave 2 and said we have a chance now to move higher as long as support is holding, but then we only put 3 waves in. Came down in the previous video, we were still in the channel, but I made you aware that, generally looking at this, it indicates that we are actually in a WXY pattern of this wave 2, and that it is a more, a more complex correction that could come down a bit lower. If it stays like that now, then I would maybe even go back to the previous overall count and say we had a wave 1, 2 here and another 1, 2 set up here. Because with this wave low that we've put in today at 1180, we're still staying above the previous low. So ideally, I would like to see a low. So in that particular wave count where the wave 2 is sitting here, in the wave Y, you would ideally want to go below this swing low here. But in the end, it doesn't really matter too much if I have only a 1-2 setup here or a 1-2, 1-2. The important thing is that we've put a new low in place in this correction, and it now has a chance to move up. It has a chance. Doesn't mean it has to happen. At the moment we see a green candle here, yes, but it's not enough price action to really confirm anything. I think the first evidence that indeed we are moving up would be if we break back sort of into this channel here. That would be a move above, let's say, 1210, and then we would need to break out above the wave 4 high at 1226. If we do that, it would be a really good indication that things are moving up in a wave 3. Yeah, we talked about that in the previous video, that we are putting a wave 3 in. I can give you a target based on the current high and the current low. So target will actually be round about the 1624 level for a wave 3 in red. So, but it's too early to say that. All you need to know is there is now a chance to move up from here. Again, we are back in the support area, and that continues to be the relevant support area for Ethereum. In the bullish scenario, of course, there's a bearish case as well. There's a bearish scenario because, of course, it is not guaranteed that the bullish case is working out. We want to be prepared for lower prices as well, even though this sort of higher level pattern that started in June with the June low, for me still suggests that a higher level, let's say, bullish breakout pattern is in play here. The chart looks much better than, for example, Bitcoin. Here that we had a wave 1 where we moved up to $2,020. We came down in a wave 2 with the most recent low on the 9th of November at around $1,075. And we could now move up in the wave 3, and we've just looked at the red wave count for that third wave. What could also happen is that we are breaking down. Relevant level here, very relevant level here, is the $1,000 level. So I've got a yellow support box on the chart that goes down to 1130. As long as we stay above 1130, it's all fine. Below 1130, it's like the yellow warning light goes on, right? And it means that you get close to $1,000, and if we break below 1,000, then we're probably going to make a new low, even lower than the June low, which was at around $880, because a bearish scenario cannot be ruled out. In the bearish scenario, this here would be a corrective wave to the upside. I talked about that before, that the move up that occurred from 880 to 2020 is not really an impulse. I can count it better as a diagonal pattern. And a diagonal pattern can also be a corrective wave. For me, it is still unlikely or less likely because of the distance that was basically made here from that low to the high. Basically 140% that would be unusual for such a corrective wave pattern. But it's of course not impossible. And based on that, the bearish pattern would be that we moved down here or that we are moving down in a diagonal pattern as well. So that this was a corrective move up, and we are now, so basically a wave 4 top, and we come down in a wave 1, 2. This was a wave 3 down, here a wave 4 in diagonal, and there will be one more wave down in a wave 5. And again, that can subdivide lower maybe into the region around 650, maybe even lower depending on how the subwaves are working out. There is even the scenario where we could count it a little bit different. There would be even more bearish, where we say all of this was a wave 1, this was a wave 2, here with 3, 4, and 5, that would subdivide much lower. But again, it doesn't really make sense to entertain that idea in too much detail, as long as the $1,000 level holds, because we can only really trade, and I think that is what many people misunderstand, we can only really see and trade what's in front of us. We don't necessarily try to predict the future here. Of course, with Elliott Waves, you have a predictive element because you get price targets and everything based on fractals, historical movements, the larger context and likelihoods. But of course, I also don't have the crystal ball, and what the Elliott Wave method is so good in understanding, or in helping us understand, is the key invalidation points, the pivot points, the inflection points, where things are changing, where does a chart go from bullish into bearish, from bearish into bullish. That's exactly where you can put your stop losses if you want to, and that also tells you from, when do I need to change my stance, because as a trader, as technical analyst, we need to be flexible. We want to be objective. We don't want to be, I'm not married to a bullish scenario. In fact, happy to change my view when I said below $1,000, this will have to be the primary scenario that we are going to make new lows. So, we can only trade what's in front of us, and this is, and there's no way around it, what we currently put in place here is a bullish trade setup. Does it work out? Of course, I have no idea. And is it likely? I think so. Especially as long as we hold above 1130. But there you've got your decision point right down there at 1130. So are profits guaranteed? Of course not. The markets are uncertain. Uncertain is the right word. There is uncertainty, and if you're looking for certainty, then you're probably in the wrong space here. Okay, and that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.